He is ready as the Blues' first round pick Justin Carbonneau has came out full force to start the preseason, not only scoring a goal but setting up a goal in tonight's game. We're going to break down on everything with Justin Carbonneau, exactly why he is ready to be injected straight into the Blues lineup going into game one, and why fans should be fired up for this player's future. We're going to break down all this and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're part of the 54.1% watching, so you haven't hit the sub button yet, but you want to stay up to date on everything to do around the St. Louis Blues and the Bull in the China Shop, Justin Carbonneau, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. It helps out a ton. And in return, we'll give you daily updates, not only in the preseason, going into this season as well. But with that, let's just hop straight into this, where we do know the St. Louis Blues drafted Justin Carbonneau at pick number 19. A lot of fans were ecstatic, but watching this kid in action during the preseason, hockey's back. This has made fans excited. Now, the St. Louis Blues are 0-2 over the first two preseason games. Remember, the first rule of preseason, everyone. If we win, it means something, but if we lose, it's preseason, and it doesn't count anyways. Now, with the St. Louis Blues, Justin Carbonneau has been a standout player over the last two games. The first game versus Dallas, Justin Carbonneau coming out, opening up the preseason scoring for not only the Blues, but the rest of the NHL, as all fans' eyes were on the first round pick. Now, Jim Montgomery says quite a bit about Justin Carbonneau, and we're going to get into all that as well. But watching Carbonneau play, he's coming with exactly what we were expecting, and even a bit more. Yes, there is some things he needs to develop with his game. He's still very young. He still needs to work to become a full-time NHL player, but with what we're seeing, he feels almost certain to get at least that stint to start the season, and in my personal opinion, he is ready to break into this league. Now, going further in, from Mike Marr, he goes in takeaways from the first game. Stellar performance from Binnington and Colton Ellis. Power play goal from Justin Carbonneau, the lone bright spot offensively. They need to work on their faceoffs, and the big thing with Carbonneau, we seen him go into the first game with Dvorsky, Holloway, and himself on the top line. Jim Montgomery must have loved how much he's seen, because he went straight into game two of the preseason, playing yet again, this time with a journeyman trying to get back into the league with Milan Lucic and newly acquired Nick Bjugstad. Now, Bjugstad and Carbonneau looked very good together, and it would be interesting if we're seeing what could be his line mate for a couple of games to start the season with the St. Louis Blues. But going into this, after the first game, Jim Montgomery said, you know what I love about the kid is he loves to play hockey. He loves to be on the ice, and you know he loves to score goals. He's trying to always to figure out where he can go to get the puck to score. Justin Carbonneau is coming in as pretty much a power forward in a young body, where he's going to enter this league and cause havoc, not only in the front of the net, and we're going to get into quotes on Jim Montgomery saying how he wants him to play, but Carbonneau is going to continue being a goal scorer for this Blues team. Now, going into the game tonight, playing with Lucic and playing next to Nick Bjugstad, we've seen Justin Carbonneau shoot it on net and a deflection to get an assist, so points in back-to-back games. Now, this one looked like his goal to start. It looked like we're seeing Justin Carbonneau on an 82 goal pace if he played the full season, and it wasn't preseason, but Carbonneau did get this puck deflected in front, which is still an assist. And I do want to go back to that first goal. That was a great setup by Logan Mailloux on the point. Another face that is ready to show what he's worth on this Blues blue line. Now, the big thing with Carbonneau, we're seeing him all over the ice. There is a lot, as I said, that he needs to work on. He needs to get tighter to the net. Jim Montgomery goes in and says it perfectly. But Carbonneau is your prototypical goal scorer. We've seen him last year in the queue, putting up 46 goals in 62 games, putting up 89 points. If he goes back, me and Darius caught a Q game just a few days ago, and if he does return, he is going to absolutely torch. And I would not be shocked if he almost scores 60 in the Q, but I do think he's going to miss that first little span with the St. Louis Blues when they open the season. Now, going into this, Jim Montgomery had a lot to say about Justin Carbonneau. He talked about how good he was, but he talked on some things he needs to fix. Then, there's areas of his game, naturally, that he's got to get better. He loves to go to open ice, which is outside the dots. He's got to get inside the dots. He has to become a more classic scorer. We've seen here in Hulls, in Shanahan's, to Kachuk's, those people score goals inside the dot. Now, when going back, we could see Justin Carbonneau just outside the dot on his first goal. The second one, he was outside when he shot it on net. So Carbonneau is going to have to work on his game. He's going to have to get into the dirty areas, muck in a couple of goals, getting a goal in front of the net with a tip in. Whatever he needs to do, I expect him to continue trying to do in this preseason to prove to not only himself but Jim Montgomery that he is ready to get in and be whatever type of player he wants him to be. Now, going far into it, he's got high-end hockey sense. That he does. In junior hockey, you get used to having to get the puck to make something happen. Now he has a guy that thinks of the game like him. He's got to trust that if he gets open now, he's getting a grade A from inside the dots, the one-timer, and stuff. We've seen this with Logan Mailloux, setting him up perfectly in that first goal. So with Justin Carbonneau becoming a more of a different style player, we're seeing a lot of guys in this Q League going out to be a one-man wrecking crew. We know Justin Carbonneau from his highlights can do exactly this. But going into games, if you're playing with Holloway, if you're playing with Robert Thomas, all the way to Kyrou, you are going to get a lot better setups than you're going to get in the juniors. And listen, that's no offense to anyone in the queue, but you're going to play with higher hockey sense players with a more veteran role that's going to help his development and in scoring goals. Now, the big thing with Carbonneau, working his way through, we know what he came in. He can hit, he can retrieve pucks, protect them, drive them right in front of the cage. He can easily put pucks past the goalie. His deep skating posture and puck control, adding power and precision to his shot. This kid is going to be a gem. He is a bit of a hidden gem for this Blues organization already. And this is really showing a lot of scouts in the league that he should have not slipped to 19 with the way he's been playing. But the big thing with this, getting him into the lineup is not going to be that easy. Justin Carbonneau, you could place on the fourth line, but this does not help with his development. But there is a real world, if he is good enough, that this is a group that will look at him and say, hey, we will make room for you on this organization. The fourth line doesn't make sense, but on the third line, playing with Jake Neighbors, Pius Suter, would make a ton of sense for his development, getting more ice time, and getting him more naturally ready to be a middle six to top six scorer on this team of Blues fans. Who would you take out of this lineup to get Justin Carbonneau? Am I crazy to say that this has already shown a lot that we know that he can get straight into this lineup with 2 points in 2 games? Listen, it is the preseason. Yes, it's going to get harder, but the big thing is Justin Carbonneau is really showing his coming out party, and it's going to be awesome to watch this kid develop and watch him get into NHL action, hopefully this season. What is your thoughts on all this? Go down and let us know in the comments. And speaking of comments, let's go straight into comments of the day, where we do get from Teddy. He said, yeah, hockey season is back. Loving the content, guys. With the breakdowns and analysis, it's much appreciated. Fan of the Blues since the birth of the franchise. Saw my first Blues game in 1967 as an 8-year-old. I bleed blue. Now, the big thing is, go down and leave a comment what first Blues game you have seen or you're going to see. Let us know your favorite player of all time. We love reading through the comments, and you could be featured like Teddy today on Comment of the Day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back for another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark. Bye, and take care, Blues fans.